Hello, my name is Morley. I am a Los Angeles-based street artist, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how I put up wheat paste posters around Los Angeles. This is the printer that I use to print out my posters. I got this one after spending quite a few years printing them out at FedEx. And at a certain point it just became a little more cost effective to buy my own printer. But if you're going to do a smaller run of posters, I recommend going to FedEx or any other local copy shop. So what I'm doing now is I'm sending the poster that I've designed to my printer to print. And while I'm doing that, I thought it might be nice to also print out a list of 5 of the many reasons why Mitch McConnell sucks. So hopefully this will be printing soon, but while we're waiting, I'll read off some of these things that I found that just seem like 5 of the very many reasons why Mitch McConnell sucks. His net worth has increased by as much as $57 million since he was elected, but he actually voted against legislation to raise the minimum wage. So, I guess he didn't think it was important to, for anybody else to be able to pay their bills. But, luckily he's got enough money in the bank that he's not worried about it. According to the Washington Post, Mitch McConnell raised the art of obstructionism to new levels. He's the Grim Reaper when it comes to democratic initiatives. And that's actually a title he gave himself, the Grim Reaper. He prides himself on that fact. He's reported to once have pressured staffers to donate an organ to make him look good. So he didn't want to donate any organs, but he said, staffers do it so that I can look good. That was his plan. In 2017, McConnell personally introduced a little-noticed amendment to eliminate the Prevention and Public Health Fund at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which provided grants to states for detecting and responding to infectious disease outbreaks, which would have been kind of nice. I feel like it would have been a good thing to have at some point, maybe, recently even, dealing with, the COVID situation. Number 5, McConnell has reported to have said that when Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies, even if it's in October, we're getting our judge. He's saying it's our October surprise. So he plans to try and get another judge, even if it's in October, on the Supreme Court. Which is, incredibly terrifying if you think about it. Even if you don't think about it, it's kind of terrifying. If you take, maybe just 2.5 seconds to think, it's the kind of thing that gives you nightmares. For this piece, I'm going to be coloring in these parts of the letters red so that they pop out a little bit more on the street. You'll see why once the piece is done. However, I would not recommend voting red this November. I would recommend voting blue. The next step is making your paste. You can make wheat paste with white flour, but considering the pandemic and the scarcity of flour, my wife would probably kill me if I used a bunch of her sourdough flour. So I'm going to use this, which you can get on Amazon. It's Zinsser Sure Grip all-purpose adhesive paste powder. You basically mix this with water and you should be good to go. So what I do is I try to spray and mix, which is something I call the macaroni and cheese blending method, where you're trying to blend the powder that comes with a box of macaroni and cheese. I do that, sort of try and get it mixed as best as possible, kind of mix as you pour. You're going to want to get a good brush, something that can get a lot of this glop onto a wall. I also like to use a painter's pole that can expand so that I can get up to higher places if I want to. Your paste is going to thicken up. Now it's looking more like applesauce or something. So that's good. Street art is important to me because it feels like a pure form of expression. You don't need a lot of money to do it. You don't need a lot of approval. You don't need a business or a company to sort of sponsor you and say that what you're doing is good for its demographic. You're just doing it because you want to do it. You're putting your voice out into the community in a local way, and hoping that whoever passes by something that you've done is going to be moved by it, or inspired by it, or encouraged by it. And so, for me, I feel like creating street art is a way of just being heard. And another way of being heard, by the way, is voting. So I always encourage people to do that. So it's important to pick a good spot. I always try to find a spot that won't do a lot of property damage, something that can be easily painted over if the city wants to or whatever. I like this spot. This looks like a good spot, although I think I need to do a little yard work first. That's a little bit better. Sometimes you got to pull some weeds to make a difference, and sometimes you got to pull weeds that have been there way too long, like Mitch McConnell. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a layer of paste on the wall, then I'm going to put the poster up, and then I'm going to put another layer of paste over that to seal it in. So there you go, a wheat paste tutorial from Morley. Be careful out there as you make your own art. Be safe. And remember that this November you gotta vote. You gotta vote blue, and you gotta vote Mitch McConnell the hell out of there. Alright guys? Let's get Mitch or die trying. Let's do this.
Let's do this.